Have you ever felt like your life is nothing more than repeating a script written by someone else? It's as if no matter how hard you try, you keep hitting those invisible walls and returning to the same disappointment. This isn't bad luck. It's an observer loop that your subconscious mind has created in the quantum field. Unless you realize it, your past will continue to sabotage your future. But today, that loop is being broken. Now, we will lift the needle of that old record and together unlock the door to the infinite possibilities of the quantum field. If you're ready, we're about to begin rewriting your reality. The subconscious mind is like a massive cosmic operating system that works in the background from the moment we take our first breath, processing millions of data points per second and coded with a survival instinct. However, this system often builds the prison of our own reality by carrying fears, childhood traumas, and societal limitations from the dusty shelves of the past into the present, all in the name of keeping us safe. In the fascinating world of quantum physics, the phenomenon called the observer effect describes how a subatomic particle, simply by being looked at, that is, by being observed by consciousness, changes from wave form to particle form and becomes fixed. Your life, too, is shaped and solidified according to precisely this rule, depending on how you look at the world each morning when you wake up. If you wake up every morning with the same familiar anxieties, drink the same tasteless coffee, and mull over the same scenarios of failure in your mind, you have already sent a command to the quantum field. Give me back the same thing as yesterday, that safe but unhappy cycle. This is not a choice, but an autopilot state that has seeped into the lower layers of your consciousness, and the only way to awaken from this mechanical sleep is to switch to a meta-observer mode, watching your own thoughts, feelings, and reactions from the outside, just like an experimenter in a laboratory setting. The quantum field is merely a cloud of possibilities until you intervene with conscious intention. There, your greatest achievements and your deepest fears wait side by side. In superposition, the subconscious's sabotage mechanism constantly selects and presents you with the safest or most familiar option from this sea of possibilities to keep you in the comfort of the known. Therefore, the recurring appearance of the same types of people in your life, or you're encountering similar financial bottlenecks, is not a coincidence, but a result of the observer cycle. The awakening of the cosmic observer begins at that sacred moment when you realize that what is happening in the external world is a projection of the frequency signature in your inner world. Because you are not a victim, but a source creating your own waves within this vast ocean of energy. Instead of getting lost in the complex labyrinths of your mind, when you have the eagle's gaze observing that labyrinth from above, that infinite potential at the subatomic level begins to align with your intention. Most people live their lives as a collection of reactions to events, whereas quantum consciousness teaches you to choose events with awareness instead of reacting to them. When this awareness takes root, that old, rusty, and constantly stuck record needle moves, and you take the first major step towards becoming the composer of your own life. The false whispers of, "You can't," "You're not good enough," or "It's not your turn," hidden in the dark corridors of the subconscious, are destined to melt away under the light of the quantum field, because reality is as rigid as the meaning you give it, and you are the only observer with the power to change that meaning. This awakening process may seem painful because the ego fears the death of its old identity and relinquishing control to the infinite expanse of the soul, but even this fear is nothing more than another frequency wave in the quantum field, and you can change its form simply by looking at it. Reprogramming your own biological computer, breaking down those ossified pathways between neurons and building new, radiant synapses full of possibilities, is within your power. This is not just a motivational phrase, but the greatest right granted to you by the laws of the universe. Now, allow that cosmic observer to open its eyes to the world from within you. Let go of that old saboteur persona. Let it slowly evaporate in the face of this high-frequency fire of consciousness, and give way to the boundless, silent, and all-powerful serenity of the quantum field. With this awakening, you are raising not only your own destiny, but also the frequency of the collective consciousness you inhabit. For when one observer changes, the entire observed universe vibrates, and realigns with them. Each of us is enveloped in an electromagnetic field that we call a frequency signature, far more distinct than our fingerprints and resonating on a universal scale. This field is essentially like an invisible radio broadcast emitted by our heart and brain, exchanging data millions of times per second with the quantum field. When you don't consciously manage the frequency of this broadcast, your subconscious continues to whisper those old, rusty, and melancholic songs into the universe, ordering a reality on your behalf. Quantum physics clearly tells us that the universe is not a mass of matter, but an ocean of energy, and every wave in this ocean yearns to crash against a shore that aligns with your inner state. If your inner world is dominated by low-frequency vibrations such as scarcity, inadequacy, or "I am not worthy of this," the immense abundance and miraculous possibilities of the outer world cannot penetrate your reality because your receiver is not tuned to that channel, just as it is futile to turn on a rock music channel to hear a frequency playing classical music. The quantum field is not a mirror, but an echo chamber. It reflects back to you not what you want or need, but who you are with your current energy. And that's why to change your life, you first need to radically revise that inner vibration, the cosmic signature of your soul. Subscribe to this frequency now. Not just this channel, but join the wave of consciousness evolution on our planet and initiate your own transformation. That immense change at the subatomic level. Changing your frequency is a much deeper, cellular operation than simply thinking positively. It's about retuning the vibration of every water molecule in your body, the firing rate of every neuron, and the harmony of every DNA strand with that cosmic orchestra. Many of us expect events in the external world to make us happy, but in quantum reality, the process works the opposite way. You first enter the frequency of that happiness, that success, or that deep peace. Then the quantum field attracts matter and events that match that frequency like a magnet towards your lifeline. This isn't a belief system, it's a universal mechanism, and once you understand it, you realize that life isn't a random storm hitting you, but that you yourself are the calm and guiding wind within that storm. Changing your frequency signature means shedding the heavy, sticky burdens of the past and aligning with the highest potential future you, who hasn't yet come into being but is ready in the quantum field now. When this alignment occurs, you feel a disruption in the flow of time. What you call coincidences become more frequent. Doors open before you even knock, and you begin to float in a pure frequency of existence where those old saboteur voices are silenced. Remember, you are not just a biological machine, but a luminous data point vibrating within the quantum field, capable of collapsing a new possibility at any moment and contributing to the expansion of the universe. When you honor your own vibration and transform those low-frequency fear patterns with the high-frequency fire of love, you elevate not only your own destiny but also the energy of every living thing you touch and even the earth you tread upon. Once this frequency shift begins, an irreversible awakening process is triggered. Your cells stop recognizing those old painful records and begin to be nourished by the universe's infinite creative energy. The saboteur lurking in the dark chambers of your subconscious will either transform along with you in the face of this high-frequency light or silently evaporate, unable to find a place in your new reality, because darkness is merely an illusion where there is light. When you walk down the street with this new frequency, you will notice that even the trees speak to you in another language. The sky appears more vibrant. Because you are no longer looking at the world is recreating itself from within you through your elevated frequency. This is a state of peace and absolute awareness beyond belief. The moment you gain complete mastery over your own energy, the boundless treasure of the quantum field becomes available to you at your command. At that moment, you are no longer the scratched sound of an old record, but one of the purest and most powerful notes in the universe's eternal symphony. This cellular symphony is not merely a cloud of thoughts echoing in your mind, but a cosmic operation that reshapes your entire biology, from the speed of blood flowing through your veins to the electrical rhythm of each heartbeat. Because when you raise your frequency, you are actually building that invisible bridge between yourself and the purest and clearest possibility in the quantum realm. The old, low frequency traps your subconscious uses to sabotage you lose their power in the face of this new and bright light, and you become not just a receiver, but the most powerful transmitter in the universe, beginning to distill your destiny from that sacred and infinite energy. This is your birthright. Time, contrary to our perception, is not a straight and inevitable river flowing from past to future, but rather a vast quantum sphere where all possibilities exist in a single, interwoven layer within that infinitely expansive point we call now. However, when the subconscious decides to sabotage us, it distorts this global reality and traps us in a narrow corridor woven with the ghosts of the past. While most people believe their physical bodies are living on the current date on the calendar, at the spiritual and cellular level they are actually vibrating at the frequency of a heartache from 10 years ago, a failure from 5 years ago, or a feeling of inadequacy coded in childhood, a time distortion. The subconscious, with its primal mechanism that senses danger and tries to protect you, constantly keeps a painful past experience alive, presenting it as your only possibility in the future. This locks your life energy to the frequency of that old trauma, like a broken record stuck on the same scratched spot. In the quantum realm, time is flexible, and wherever you focus your attention, you materialize the energy there. If your attention is constantly focused on the question of, why does this always happen to me, or on past regrets, you are essentially commanding the quantum realm to copy those old, decaying patterns into the present and the future. This is sabotage because even if you say you want to create a new future with your free will, those time shackles deep within your subconscious constantly pull you back to that old frequency circle you know and recognize, but which is consuming you. Making a true quantum leap begins with recognizing this distortion of time and realizing that those old patterns are merely data records in your mind, not the absolute truth of your now. Consciousness is the only tool that can transcend time. When you pull your awareness from the dark chambers of the past and focus it on your highest potential future, which has not yet been lived but awaits as a brilliant possibility in the quantum realm, those old-time records in your cells begin to be erased. This is a process of renewal that transcends even biological aging and mental fatigue, because when you stop perceiving time linearly, you actually reject both aging and exhaustion. Old patterns are like a route entered incorrectly into a GPS system. No matter how hard you press the gas pedal, that wrong route always takes you back to the vicious cycle where you started. Activating the quantum field means reprogramming this cosmic GPS and anchoring attention from the shadows of the past to the bright frequency of the future. In this moment of awakening, that heavy and sticky perception of time dissipates. You are no longer the person you were yesterday, and the person you will be tomorrow has not yet been written. You are the absolute observer standing at the center of all possibilities right now. The false security walls that your subconscious has built to protect you crumble like paper castles in the face of this timeless awareness. For you are no longer a victim of time, but a conscious creator who can bend time and transform it into a playground for your own spiritual evolution. With this awareness, the speed and quality of events in your life change. Transformations that once took years now begin to happen in days because you have shifted your frequency to that higher dimension where time is shrinking. Remember that those old patterns that sabotage you are only nourished by the attention you give them. The moment you withdraw your attention from them and give your energy to the infinite power of now, the doors of that old prison of time will spontaneously open wide. When you pass through this door, you will cleanse not only your own life but also those heavy and cyclical burdens inherited from your ancestors in the light of the quantum field. This is a story of healing, liberation, and rebirth beyond all time. Now is the time to break that old record and shout your soul's new composition, full of infinite possibilities, to the universe, free from the restrictive shackles of time, because you are a light too great to be confined within time. This timeless awakening initiates a wave of cleansing that transcends the boundaries of your biological existence and reaches the vast library of collective consciousness, the Akasha records. Because when you free yourself from the frequency of the past, all those old patterns of grief and regret experienced through you are neutralized in the healing void of the quantum field. You should feel that the thick, dark cocoon your subconscious has woven to protect you is beginning to crack, for you are no longer a caterpillar inside that cocoon, but a cosmic being preparing to spread your wings to the winds beyond time, and each flap of your wings causes a new possibility to sprout in the farthest corners of the universe. The quantum field is a vast and boundless sea of possibilities where every scenario, every form of life, and every potential imaginable by the human mind simultaneously surges in a pure form of energy. There is neither deficiency nor limit, only an immense creative power yet unmaterialized awaits the touch of your consciousness. While classical physics whispers to us that the world is solid and unchanging, quantum reality proves that subatomic particles are actually clouds of possibilities, and that these clouds only transform into tangible experiences when they are perceived by an observer, that is, sealed with intention. This means that the reality you are currently in is just a single wave that you have drawn from that infinite sea with your frequency. While your subconscious sabotages you, it constantly selects the same dusty and sad books from this vast library and places them before you, whereas your soul holds a cosmic pen capable of rewriting every single line in that library. The manifestation process isn't about forcibly attracting something into your life from the outside, but about achieving vibrational alignment with that higher version of yourself that is already waiting in the quantum field. Because the peace, abundance, or deep love you desire is actually sharing the same space with you in another dimension right now. It's just that your radio frequency hasn't yet caught that station. When you align with this intention, the hidden gears of the universe begin to turn in your favor, because you are no longer declaring to the universe what you want, but who you choose to be. And the quantum field always obeys this new identity, reshaping the material world around you. The secret of manifestation isn't waiting for that thing you desire to happen someday in the future, but feeling its frequency as a reality now, in your cells, your breath, and your emotions, because the quantum field only understands the language of now. And if you are emitting the frequency of I don't have it, while imagining a future achievement, the field will only reflect back that not having state. Therefore, manifestation is a way of being rather than a thought. It is your natural ability to transcend the limited self-perception in your mind, to dive into the magnificent depths of the sea of possibilities, and to select and extract the brightest pearls, the highest timelines from there. The old sabotaging voices of your subconscious dissipate like dry leaves in the wind when you stand on the shore of this boundless sea and realize your own immense power. For no illusion can survive in the face of the brilliant light of truth. You are not merely an observer, but also the conductor and leading actor of this cosmic orchestra. All you need to do to change the scenery, the events in your life, is to activate the quantum field with pure intention, emanating from that deep silence within. Each intention is a stone thrown into that calm sea of possibilities, and the ripples created by that stone spread to the furthest galaxies of the universe, forming a magnetic field that brings everything aligned with your intention towards you. With this awakening, life is no longer a series of accidents unfolding beyond your control, but a magnificent work of art woven with your conscious awareness. Because you are no longer just a drop in that sea of infinite possibilities, but the entire ocean within that drop. Remember that to manifest means to weave those invisible threads in the quantum field with your desires. And when you begin this process, the entire universe forms a secret alliance to support your creative process. This is that sacred moment when you embrace your own divine potential and build your reality from scratch. Now look confidently into those depths and marvel as the immense life prepared for you transforms from waveform to particle, a tangible miracle. With a single conscious glance, this cosmic collaboration means transcending the limited self-perception in your mind and joining hands with the infinite creative intelligence of the universe. Because when you plant your intention like a seed in the quantum field, all the sun, water, and soil needed for that seed to sprout are already waiting in the energetic dimension. When you reject the narrow vision your subconscious has woven for you under the guise of protection and gaze upon the magnificent horizon of the sea of possibilities, you realize that every moment you were sabotaged was actually a stepping stone preparing you for this great awakening. That sabotaging voice echoing in the dark, winding corridors of your subconscious, holding you back from your greatest dreams, isn't actually your enemy, but a very old and wounded part of your soul. It's a primal guardian that fears the boundless nature of the quantum field, clinging only to the safe haven it knows, and hindering your growth in the name of protection. Most people choose to fight this inner resistance, suppress it, or ignore it. But quantum physics teaches us that everything you resist feeds on the frequency of that resistance, becoming stronger and manifesting as even more rigid obstacles in your reality. To befriend the saboteur means to stop fighting that inner voice and embrace the fear frequency it emits with the transformative light of awareness. Because the moment you say to that fear, "I see you, I hear you, and I honor your struggle for survival," that rigid energy wave begins to dissolve and transform into pure potential. This sabotage mechanism is actually your past survival strategy. The armor that once protected you may today have become a prison, but the key to unlocking it lies in approaching that guardian, not with anger, but with the calm and unifying power of consciousness. In the quantum field, everything is energy, and energy never disappears, it only changes form. Therefore, that immense energy of fear that sabotages you is actually one of the greatest fuels you can use in your creative process, provided you learn to transform it. When you reject this shadow self within yourself, you push it into a dark corner of the quantum field, and from there it continues to secretly control your life. However, when you invite it to the center and cleanse it with the high-frequency fire of your consciousness, that saboteur becomes your most loyal ally, a cosmic guide that warns you of dangers but doesn't stand in your way. When this transformation occurs, you no longer oscillate between two opposing poles in your mind. On the contrary, you begin to radiate an indivisible frequency signature, integrated with all your parts. This state of wholeness creates a coherent wave structure in the quantum field, which exponentially increases the speed at which your dreams materialize. The saboteur's whispers of, "You can't," or "It won't be your turn," are actually flares signaling your yet-to-be-discovered power zones. Wherever there is resistance, there is a vast potential energy waiting for your awakening. When you gain this inner ally, you will see the obstacles in the outside world evaporate one by one. Because instead of an internal conflict, there is now immense inner peace and cosmic cooperation. When you learn to love your own darkness, that darkness is no longer there to devour you, but to show you how bright your light is. This is a peace beyond belief and a feeling of absolute wholeness. The old, rusty defense systems of your subconscious soften in the face of your compassionate, observant stance, giving way to the creative intelligence of the quantum field. Thus, you no longer spend your energy protecting yourself, but rebuilding your world. In this process, you must be patient and observe each wave of resistance, like the foam of the ocean crashing on the shore. The foam comes and goes, but the ocean, your self-consciousness, is always there and always deep. When you accept the saboteur as a teacher, each attempt at obstruction becomes a compass telling you which belief pattern you need to let go of, and you use this compass to chart the most accurate course in the quantum field. Now it's time to step aside. You must heal that wounded part within you and invite it into this new and glorious reality by the hand. For only when you say yes with all your parts will the magnificent doors of the universe's manifestation open wide for you. You are not only a hero, but also a master storyteller who lovingly transforms that challenging character in your own story. And this integration is the true driving force that will enable your quantum leap. Now look into the eyes of that inner saboteur and whisper to it that we are now safe, that it is time to shine, because your awakening radiates a frequency powerful enough to bring light even to the darkest corners of the universe. This integration is not merely a declaration of peace in your mind, but also the liberation of the creative genius hidden in the deepest layers of your soul. For when you take that saboteur to the center of your heart instead of excluding it, you actually seal the immense balance between the opposites of the universe within your own being. The old and dark whispers of your subconscious are no longer threats in the face of your unwavering love, but become mirrors reflecting your light further. Thus, using each obstacle as a springboard, you begin to climb confidently towards the brightest and most seemingly impossible peaks in the quantum realm. Now you stand at the most sacred threshold of this journey, as a quantum observer, freed from the old shackles of the subconscious, having corrected the distorted frequencies of time and transformed the saboteur within into your greatest ally. You are now ready to unlock the doors to an entirely new reality. This transition to a new reality is not merely a change in external events, but a profound and irreversible transformation of who you are and at what frequency of existence you vibrate. for you are no longer a timid stranger waiting on the shore of that sea of infinite possibilities, but a universal architect who directs each wave of that sea with your own consciousness, transforming that immense potential at the subatomic level into matter. The mysterious and magnificent laws of quantum mechanics tell us that when the observer changes, the observed must also change. Therefore, when you dismantle that limited and fearful small self-perception within your inner world and replace it with an awareness of infinite and timeless consciousness, the material world around you will also vibrate and realign to match this new and radiant frequency. The old subconscious sabotage mechanism is now merely a memory, for you now dedicate your energy not to defense, but to pure creation, to the ascension of collective consciousness, and to becoming the earthly reflection of your higher self. In this new reality, time is no longer a monster that consumes you, but a flexible canvas you use for your creations. Here you do not fear the future because you know that the future is a projection of your frequency in the now, and the past cannot hurt you because you have realized that the past is merely a library of experiences. With this awakening, your radiant light merges with other awakened souls in the vast network of collective consciousness, and the planet's frequency signature is raised one level higher with your individual transformation. Remember that when one person breaks their own cycle, they are actually helping thousands of others loosen their invisible chains. Now, whether walking the streets, talking to people, or simply sitting in silence, you feel that everything is actually different forms of energy from a single source, and that you are a conscious part of that source. This awareness is more than belief. It is a state of peace, unwavering knowing, and absolute freedom. Congratulations on your new reality. There is nothing impossible here, only higher possibilities that you haven't yet imagined and that await discovery. And you are worthy of each of these possibilities. Keep shining your light, because with every moment you shine, the darkness recedes a little more, and the universe expands a little more with your presence. This is your victory. This is your awakening, and this is the brightest page of your eternal journey. You have stopped telling the story of a small person struggling to survive in a vast universe. Now, you are experiencing the miracle of the universe experiencing and expanding itself through a single human body. In this new reality, every morning when you awaken, you open your eyes not only to the world, but to that infinite laboratory of creation within yourself. There, your intentions await your conscious observation, ready to transform into matter at the speed of light. Instead of the narrow corridors of fear, you dance in the boundless arenas of love and limitless possibilities. For you have realized that there was never such a thing as a saboteur, only a part of you that feared your own power and awaited your awakening. Now that part has merged with the light, and you, as an indivisible source of light, illuminate your own galaxy with your own frequency. This awakening is the most elegant signature you leave on eternity. That signature is now indelibly etched into the fabric of the quantum field. You are the awaited miracle itself. If you feel something vibrating deep within your soul right now, and this knowledge is inviting you to a new frequency, join us. This is not merely an act of subscribing. It is about uniting with souls of similar frequency on your own journey of awakening and leaving your mark on this collective consciousness evolution. Now, to seal this high energy in your own reality and explicitly declare your intention in the quantum field, leave this sentence in the comments. I honorably release my old cycles and say yes to my highest potential. Every letter you write is a seed of intention beginning to materialize in its own quantum field, beyond the digital world. If you would like to take this journey to a higher dimension and join the core team in our deepening process in the quantum field, we can merge our frequencies with the Join button. This conscious investment in your own awakening will be a key to accessing much more exclusive practices behind closed doors.